Welcome everybody. Number 18, Wayne.
18.
Straight Talk Commerce Podcast. We're down a wheel today.
Again,
Our
he
our, our,
wanders off.
our third wheel not here.
He just wanders off. He's like he goes into a fugue state. If you've ever seen Breaking Bad, Walter White in that show, the protagonist, meth king, he needs an excuse as to where he's been. He's been gone for 3 days, locked up making meth. And he's got a wife and he's got kids and he needs an excuse. So this guy strips down naked, goes into a grocery store and pretends to be in a fugue state. Hey, Ralph's, please check your frozen food aisle. If Ian is wandering around naked, please point him back in our direction.
Exactly.
No fugue state.
Exactly. All right. Well, look, I think we have a great topic for today. Something you and I are going to have a lot of going back and forth on.
We already have.
Listen, but I've got a lot of surprised opinions about this.
You're very cranky, so I won't be surprised at all.
Well, go ahead, Wayne. So why don't you introduce the topic?
Well, look, there are 10 reasons. I put together 10 reasons that your PR, your public relations matters even for a small business. And I would even argue, especially for a small business, because look, we're going to get into this even more, but my argument is large companies, large businesses, they operate their PR on the macro. They don't care about individual customers anymore. Pick a company, I'll make the argument, okay? They do, however, care politically where they stand, what their political score. That's what they care about now. They don't care about you and I. Apple does not care whether you or I buy an iPhone. They care how they look politically. And we'll talk about that today.
Well, listen, yes, and that's what it is. I spoke at the Tech Leadership Labs first annual conference on Wednesday, and we're talking a lot about that, right? The phony baloney DEI programs, where they're just trying to look good, couldn't give half a shit about hiring anybody, right? But the programs aren't designed for that. They'll want they want great people. They can care less what they look like, at least in the tech industry. But
which is how it should be.
Right. But they want to put on their phony baloney programs. Same thing with greenwashing for climate change. Oh, we're doing XYZ. Meanwhile, they're shoving shit out the back door. But that's what a lot of this stuff does. And attracting. So we have the top 10 list, and number 10.
Yeah, go ahead.
Attracts talent and investors. So you're saying from a PR standpoint, right? That's what these are for?
Yeah, because people
hold on. Listen, I have opinions, okay? Because I'll tell you.
Let's hear your opinion. Tell me
what you think. Listen, I'm telling you, one of our clients that may be getting fired. I think we're done with them. But one of the top insurance companies in the world. These fools are spending, I saw the budget too. It was like $850,000 on talent attraction. Let's advertise. Let's get people to stuff our ATS system full of garbage. Some are good, but as I show in my, my coaching circle we do every Friday, you don't attract talent. What, you want them to now have millions of people in your ATS systems? People are the poor candidates out there are getting lost in the shuffle. They could be perfect for the job they see. Half of the jobs, I don't know if this is on the list for later, but we just talked about it before we came on, don't exist. More than half don't exist.
Right.
Some are scams. Some, and these are probably going in the scam category, are just jobs they have up because they want to build databases of those types of people.
Right.
But you know, again, just recruitment is so broken right now. You know, I've been doing this stuff since the 80s. There was no web. I'd go to my clients' competitors and take their people, but do it through building that tight relationship. And that's why these communities now are just so valuable. What do you think, Wayne?
Well, look, I mean, we align pretty, I look at it like this. I know that a lot of the, especially in tech, a lot of the top tech, and I'm talking your Googles, your Metas, your Apples, they do what is called they put people in a talent vacuum. They hire people to do nothing. They just want to get them off the market. The top engineers, the smarter guys, they hire them, give them six-figure incomes, and they give them nothing to do. And the evidence of this, it's no conspiracy theory. There are personal accounts of people. Hey, here's the day in the life of someone works for Meta. Here's my day at Google. And there's no work going on. And the reason that these tech companies do that is to keep them away from their competitors. Because if I own you, I can make you do nothing, or I can make you do something. Now, you're right. LinkedIn just discovered that they have 60% of their job offerings on LinkedIn are scams. There's no job there. They're trying to scam people. And there's no one on this planet that is going to convince me that they can't do something about that. Nobody. This platform that we are on right now, David, they know that there are scams on their platform. And if they can stop people from talking about political things, and they can stop them from talking about name a subject, then they can certainly go in and rid the platform of these scammers. And the only reason that I can think of that they don't is that it benefits them. These scammers benefit them in some way. And I think it's volume. I think it's right. It's people that are coming to the, and they'll believe things, but they're being victimized.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting action. They could probably sell these job postings for more. I mean, even the our job board provider, yeah, just told me the stats on
Listen,
finding
let me tell you
people.
something, dude. That you have given out enough information on your phone for them to find you the perfect job, match you to an employer, match you to an industry, match you to a company where you would be happy and they would be happy to have you, because they know your likes, your dislikes, they know your political opinions through your phone. They'd be able to, in a second, less than a nanosecond, they would be able to match you to that perfect job. And that's where the money would be. But they, for whatever reason, have not decided to do that. And not that they would force you into that job, by the way, but it would be for the employer, please, I'll pay a lot of money if you'll find me David Layton. That's who I'm looking for. I'm looking for Wayne Altman. Find that guy. He great looking, thinks for himself, super genius. Find that guy. Well,
Well, look, and it's not just that. Sometimes they don't know who they need until they meet them and say, "Oh shit, we need that." Right? That's why, like, you sell
yeah,
it.
that's where the algorithm
Right.
would help.
No, well, not right, but also too, like you live in Rancho Cucamonga
Mhm.
and you have relationships with mattress stores. It's like, some of these things are like, who would have that? Were they gonna put up a job for that? Or no, we're gonna put up salesperson. But right, but or they won't even know they need it until somebody goes to that person. So look, I think a lot of it is
They
just
would be able to go through with all the data on each of us that they have so aggressively collected. They know who I am. They know who I associate with. They know what level of education I have. All they have to do is look at any of my posts on Facebook or posts on Twitter or whatever. They know
Well, right.
exactly where my heart is and where my intelligence lies. And listen, I'm not looking for a job. What I'm saying, and there's 360 million of us in this country alone.
Imagine a world where your professional growth knows no bounds. Welcome to Witty.com, celebrating 35 years of empowering innovators. Join a community where trust and influence are at the core. Experience exclusive training programs designed to elevate your skills. Our annual summit brings together the brightest minds from multiple industries. As a member, you'll gain access to invaluable resources and support. Network with like-minded professionals who share your passion for innovation. Benefit from mentorship programs that guide you towards success. Celebrate your achievements with a community that recognizes your efforts. Witty.com is more than a membership. It's a journey of growth and success. Join us in celebrating 35 years of innovation and excellence. Take advantage of our special anniversary membership offer today. Unlock your potential with workforce innovation, trust, and influence. Visit Witty.com and become a member today.
And believe me when I tell you that this should be a no-brainer. This should be very quickly finding people work.
Listen, right, but it's listen. There's broken systems. Many of the HR departments, are the HR, many of the HR departments and more administration, they don't know about recruiting. Many of the recruiters out there,
Yeah.
very
Poorly
junior, they're
trained
not
with political.
experienced, and they're not smart. And I've seen what these
Yeah.
big companies, the Korn Ferries, the Ronstads, the Tech Systems.
Yeah.
I've met these people. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Look, they're poorly trained and they're politically motivated.
And they just
That's
don't
the
have
point.
they just don't have the experience, and they're getting just bombarded with information. So
Yeah.
how do you even have time to go to the competitor? I don't know. Anyway, and look, and then I think as far as just our last piece for number 10, investors, right? What we're kind of coming out on the other side of, similar to the .com. Oh, they have, pets.com. Let's put millions of dollars in that company. It was the kind of the same thing with AI. Oh, you do AI, let's invest.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff's, slowing down, but they can use social media to confuse the marketplace.
The difference between that, though, is some of the other negative effects of that AI, the power consumption, the, lack of copyright. They're not being very clear about copyright and what they're going to do about all that stolen data that they've just vacuumed into their AI. Either one of two things is going to happen. Either AI is going to get a hell of a lot dumber very shortly, or if it remains as smart as it is even now, they're going to have to figure out a way of compensating all of the copyright holders that they use their information with. But getting back to this real quick, you can use PR to attract those the talented people and investors in just showing people who you are. And the smaller you are, the easier it is for you to do.
Totally. Now, okay, so another thing from PR is the
Goes right to it.
Right, number 9, differentiates you from your competitors,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes these are a fine line, right? You look at, I mean, from a B2C level, when you're looking at Amazon, two of the identical lamps, they look like the identical, they may be,
Mhm.
but what's creating trust for me, I think. And I think PR with trust is certainly an area that where PR can help.
Well, I had an interesting conversation, and you were part of this conversation about pricing. We were in the conversation about how do you determine what your price is, or how do you determine when to raise your price? And my opinion was, wait, when you have too many orders. That's the only time you should raise your price, is when you have too many orders to fill, and that's your release valve for kind of backing off business, or being able to take a breather. You raise your price, you're going to raise your profit if people do buy from you, but you will kind of, send that business elsewhere for a little bit, and at least you get to test the market. You do not raise your price because the guy next door raised his price. He may be full and you're not. And if you raise your price, you're going to go down even less in customers, and that's going to hurt you further. You understand? You cannot, there's one reason and one reason only to raise your price. It's not cost of goods. It's not cost of labor. It is, do I have too many customers for the inventory that I have right now? Period.
Totally.
And getting to the subject of this, though, what differentiates you from your competitors is not, so it's not price, right? What differentiates you and separates you from your competitors can be other things, or should be other things. It should tell you, hey, we are the nice guys, or we're the smart guys, or we're the ones with our finger on the pulse of what people really want. But the number one thing that it should be is we care about our customers, and we've got great customer service, and these other guys, maybe not so much.
Yeah, right. And customer service and other things, and there's a lot of things that can hammer you. Number 8 is builds relationship with media. And I think that's of all the things with PR, like, and especially in the days of AI, and people can write a similar stuff and it can get very confusing.
Yep.
How it, using, those long-term relationships are just things that you can't.
And that happens way before the stuff hits the fan, Dave. That
Right.
You've got to have that relationship far in advance of one of your employees getting on a plane and complaining about AIDS in Africa, or some other, horrific misstep that you performed sometimes without even knowing. I watch the news very carefully, and I see people step in holes that they didn't. Number one, they didn't have to step in the hole. And number two, they didn't mean to step in a hole to begin with. And it's unfortunate we're now talking about you like this. If you have good relationships with the media, with certain people that can come in and interview you and really give your side of the story fairly, and you can sit back and really apologize and, oh, my bad, mea culpa, my bad. We did not mean to do this. Please let everybody know that this is not who we are. That sure hell goes a long way for you. When the Twitter, sphere starts blabbing.
It does. But again, now in the days of AI, sometimes it's just can't be stopped, right? And then I think that takes us to number 7. Influences public opinion.
You see how all of these are related,
They're all
Dave?
kind of tied to each other.
You see how they all tie
because,
into one
right.
another? I mean, come on, baby.
Well, number 8, you need the media one, then public opinion. Once the cat's out of the bag or the toothpaste is out of the tube, you can't put that shit back in. Right. And I think that, look, public opinion, it's kind of tied into what we were just talking about, and how quickly can you fix it. But then that just goes right into number 6, which these things should be coupled together. Crisis management, right?
All of these things stack on one another. That's why we're doing it like this. And look, let me give you an example of influence public opinion. Both sides of the political debate, it's pretty much straight down the middle. Okay, you have two candidates could not be more diametrically opposed, and we're still having a hard time in this country deciding on who we want to lead us. And there's a reason for that, because they both have access to media, and they both have access to their base of people which should show you as a business owner that nothing is too bad.
If your business operations feel like a grind, you're missing out on the magic of artificial intelligence. Whether you're in retail, manufacturing, finance, or any other industry, AI is a game changer. From automating mundane tasks to optimizing your supply chain, AI can transform how you operate. We specialize in creating tailored AI solutions that meet your unique challenges and goals. With our expertise, you can improve efficiency, reduce errors, and make better decisions. Discover how AI can revolutionize your business. Contact us today at www.toolessentials.ai/consultation.
Yeah.
You can overcome, talking about eating pets in Ohio, you can overcome not talking to the press for 8 weeks, 9 weeks, however long you've been running for president. That's not what matters. What matters is building your relationships with the media and trying to move forward in a way that your customers are going to respond to.
Totally. Absolutely. And then that goes right into cost-effective marketing, which is number 5.
Well, we didn't talk about crisis management.
I thought you just talked about that.
No, what I was talking about is influencing, or the lack of influence on public opinion. You've got it straight down the middle, right? And there is something to be said additionally for crisis management, because we're going to, when you step in that puddle, when somebody in your employment that you've never even met, you hired them 2 months ago, but you still haven't met them yet, when they do something horrible, and maybe it's not even, they didn't even want to do it, they didn't even mean to do it, and now they're going to ruin you and your business that's been around for 37 years. And they've said to your best customer something, now you have the ability, because you've done all of these things and you have good PR, you can pick up the phone and you can tell your best customer that is take the chewing out, but you can come to an agreement that, hey, this isn't going to end our relationship at the end of the day. This, we're going to learn from this. You're going to get some extra effort from me. I'm going to smooth this over, and it's not going to end your freaking business.
Yeah. And in a lot of cases, better just not to say anything, right? Some companies try to get out there, they issue a statement, they're full of shit, then it just magnifies it.
Yeah, if you're going to throw wood on the fire, shut up.
Yeah.
But if you are really contrite, if you really do want to make it up and be up, you're upset about how police departments, you can always tell when police departments in this country think they're right and when they think they're wrong.
Yep.
They think they're right. Here comes the video. This guy did this, and he didn't roll his window down, and he didn't obey with the police officer who was just trying to keep himself safe. And then you have, we don't want this video. We somehow the video is not available. Every cop that was 30 cops standing around, and every single one of them, their camera, their chest camera, didn't work. Or we're not going to be releasing a statement. Because believe it or not, people can say whatever they want. They're public servants. We're their customer. We're paying for those services, just like we do garbage collection or electricity. And so they owe an explanation when things go wrong and go sideways.
Yeah. And they just got to be honest, right? Well, listen, I think so. But again, there are people that specialize in this, and those PR firms can be worth their weight in gold for sure.
Well, this changes though. There are times in our history where shutting up was the right thing to do. And they gave you good advice by telling you, hey, look, it's going to blow over. Don't say anything. You're just going to make it worse. But guess what? That pendulum is constantly swinging. And sometimes when you screw up and you don't say anything, is when you actually pour the fuel on the fire. When
Well,
you don't go out and put your side of the story out there, and it's hard to know, that's why you have these experts, but it's hard to know when those two things are true. But
it's very
sometimes you're going to step on your popo if you don't get out there and go, hey, look, we're very sorry this happened.
totally.
American people are extraordinarily forgiving with stuff like this.
Yeah.
The number of people that rehabilitate themselves, you see this a lot in Hollywood. The number of people that do something horrific and are able to come back and rehabilitate themselves, you do not see that in other countries.
Yeah.
Once you're done, most places.
Yep. Absolutely. And look, and then I think, after you've kind of got over that, and I think another way PR firms can be used effectively, and it says for number 5, cost-effective marketing, but I think it's also just amplifying the marketing.
Yep.
As an example, if anybody saw this week on Howard Stern or listened, there was a Harris and Harris ad where Ronnie the limo driver was the person in the ad. Did you see this?
I think you showed it in the last podcast, did you not? Or was it Mason and
Right.
Mason?
No, you're right. Mason and Mason. Right.
Mason and Mason. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, they're still talking about it. And if you so getting that could have been the opinion of the PR person. I'm not sure. Now the amount of there's people watching that commercial 9-10 times.
Yeah, that is a very dangerous game if you are doing that on purpose. Let me say that. However, the payoff, with every risk, there's reward. You may not like the reward, but with risk comes reward. Little bit of risk. If you take a little bit of risk, there's very little bit of a reward. If you take big risks, sometimes they can pay off and be in your benefit. So whatever amount of risk you have tolerance for, I say, yeah, in other words, there's no wrong answer when it comes to that. Only when you get caught and flushed was it the wrong answer. We won't know until we get through that. I think I mentioned this last podcast. Look, you don't make any moves that you don't recover from or can't recover from or would be too hard for you to recover from.
Yeah,
it's not a good idea.
Totally.
And as far as being cost effective, look, there's no other medium that can, with very little bit or even no money, Dave, get you a global audience, reach a global audience, and absolutely blow the doors off of whatever it is you're selling or whatever thing you're trying to promote. If you play it correctly, look, I'll use Straight Talk Commerce as an example of what I'm talking about. So with a very little bit of money, our subscribers have blown up, and we've looked over the analytics on this a number of times. And now, once we started rolling a little bit, and again, we spend very, very little bit of money. Once we started rolling a little bit, that area of our subscribers that never saw any of our promotion, we did not pay anything for, is growing exponentially. That's the true number. The people that have started to subscribe to us now have never seen one of our promoted videos. They found us because of other means. And that's where your true audience, not to say that promoted audience isn't good, it's great, but you start to believe or you start to see this word of mouth and people sharing our videos, and that's how they're finding us. And that's because of good PR.
Totally, for sure. And then
which will lead into number 4.
Exactly. Which is lead generation, right? Right. And as a matter of fact, they had I think his name was Matt Mason from Mason and Mason, if that's the name of the firm.
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
And he was saying their phones are ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right? I mean, I don't know that much needs to be said about that, but what does need to be said about that, especially for our listeners that are entrepreneurs and small businesses, be ready for it, right? Several stories on some that come on Shark Tank. Where they get this huge hit and they didn't have it priced right, or they didn't have fulfillment, put them right out of business.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, we'll talk about this too. For every lead that you generate, if you do this poorly, and I'll use Taylor Swift as an example. Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris for president of the United States. And look, good for Kamala. Taylor Swift has 240 million followers, I think, on just Instagram alone. And that's great. PBD, Patrick Bet-David did an analysis of the conversion rate for that, and it was pretty horrific, actually. But now, if you're Taylor Swift and the people in Taylor Swift, you've alienated half of those people, because it's still Kamala and Trump are still at 50-50. And now you've alienated half of your audience. The half that actually buys albums from you and concert tickets and whatnot. So if you go too hard in the paint on one side, you may find out you've cut half of your audience out. You don't think that the conservative people who are Swifties are just going to let that go, that you've gone against who they...
I don't know that they're half. But let's not alienate half. Let's not alienate half of the Straight Talk Commerce.
No, I'm pointing out to you that and look, it's fine. Sometimes you need to be a little political. Sometimes you do need to let your customers know what you stand for. 100% I'm in favor of that. 100%. Don't let people guess which side you're on or where you stand on certain things. But those are things you need to take into consideration. Am I now going to go to my next concert and fill half of Madison Square Garden? Because ask the Dixie Chicks, who are now called the Chicks. They had to change the name of their own band because they made the ill-advised move of going to a foreign country and telling people that George Bush was not their president. One concert, one time, and it destroyed their careers. Ask them about it. Yeah, to you, you're on their side of the political aisle. To someone like me, to someone like my friends, no, no, no. We don't go to a foreign country and talk bad about our country. That's something we don't do.
About your country, I
Yes.
thought about the president.
No. I mean, our president is our leader of the country. In other
Right.
words, you don't see someone going, Tucker Carlson, for example, going to a foreign country and having a bad or talking about a bad or a speech for how bad Obama was or how bad Kamala would be for the country. Right? Now, hold on. Now, if he did that, he did it with the knowledge that no one on the left likes me. I can say whatever it is I want because my audience will still be full. My audience is only from the right. And listen, this translates whether you're selling t-shirts or tickets to something. You understand?
True.
I'm telling the guys out there, if you're selling work boots and you decide that unions decide that they're not going to buy from you anymore because you said something bad about a Democratic candidate for the president of the United States, that was a dumb move. That was a stupid thing to do.
True.
So it works both ways. Make it very clear. Make it very, very clear.
Exactly. By the way, we are up to I think 111 for Saturday's 111 people for Saturday's Odyssey men's group.
Let's talk about that for a minute. You and I need to talk about that for a minute because we are partners in Odyssey. It's a men's group and it's really fantastic. You know, it really has grown. Number one, it's grown exponentially every single week. And we have speakers that come in and talk to us. And we get a chance to fellowship. You know, we spend, an hour and a half, just being able to talk and discuss things that maybe we can't discuss, elsewhere. Right.
Yeah.
All over the world, Dave. It's done on Zoom, so you don't have to leave your couch. You have to you go in and get on a Zoom with people from Ireland, people from Uganda, people from Chad, people from all over the world. And you get to hear different people's perspectives on things on a weekly basis, by the way. And by the way, most of the time it's on a multi-times of the week basis because there are others. Fortunately, Dave Whitty is hosting Odyssey. So then you have all of these educational programs that you have access to because of the absolutely banging background and backbone of Whitty. So if you want to know about AI, well, come to Odyssey. We can show you how to get educated and how to get some classes on artificial intelligence or, name some of the other subjects.
Yeah, no, we had leadership. We had Dr. Eid. He comes in from
Love him.
University of Cambridge, but he lives in Beirut and he's teaching every Tuesday. And then, what else we got? The somatic healing session's been real good. We have Human coming on to talk about his murals in Israel to support the women in Iran.
Yep.
Project. He'll be speaking Thursday, the day after this podcast, will go live, so that'll be good.
What's really surprised me is some of the members and what they do and have done with their lives. And you talk about Dr. Eid and Human, okay? There are two guys that are extremely intimidating to me for two different reasons. Two, talking to Dr. Eid, I realize, man, I am a monkey talking to this guy. He is so smart. I love walking around thinking I'm an intelligent guy. Yeah, guess what? Next to him, I'm a chimp. Okay? Kind of why Joe Rogan does his podcast, he said that about himself a number of times, is that he wants to talk to people smarter than him. Okay? But then you talk to someone like Human. And I get myself in trouble all the time talking about Human's bravery, doing what he does. Anybody that's even slightly familiar with that region of the world, Iran, all of that, Turkey, that whole region knows. You better know how to act when you're in that area, or bad things are going to happen to you very quickly. And you being an American or you being from somewhere, it isn't going to matter to them. Matter of fact, you're targeted. So to listen to, and we had a great conversation with Human last night, listening to him, and I just sit there and fanboy over this guy because of who he is and why he does what it is he's doing. So any way I can help him, I always try to do that.
Feeling isolated and disconnected? You're not alone. Many men struggle to find a community that truly understands them. Introducing Odyssey, a place where fellowship and brotherhood thrive. Join us on a journey of personal growth and meaningful connections. At Odyssey, we believe in the power of brotherhood. Our community fosters brotherly connections that last a lifetime. We come together to serve our communities and make a difference. Hear from those who have transformed their lives with Odyssey. Odyssey gave me the brotherhood I was missing. I found other business leaders and entrepreneurs who share my values. Together, we make a real impact in our community. Odyssey is more than a group, it's a brotherhood. Join us and discover the power of true fellowship. Take the first step towards a more connected and fulfilling life. Odyssey, where fellowship, business, and brotherhood unite. For more information, go to yte.com.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So anyway, and what's he doing? So he just did 2 more murals.
Yeah.
Then
So now he's at 16 of 18 murals, most of which, almost all of it, as a matter of fact, have been self-funded. And he's saved God knows how many people by bringing to the world's attention the things that Iran are doing behind the scenes. And, listening to him talk about how close Iran is from a new regime. The people of Iran are very special people. And they're trying to shrug off the yoke of their very oppressive government. And you would never know that. We don't talk about that a whole lot. Just a little bit of just like Egypt, when but just a little bit of a nudge in some of these areas could mean a world of difference.
Totally.
We're at number 3.
Go back to your number 3, right?
Yeah, we're at number 3, enhancing reputation.
Enhances reputation. Yeah, look, that's what they need to be doing, should be doing, right?
Yeah. You can use social media to show the world, hey, this is how we treat people when they come to us with customer service problems. I was in a meeting yesterday with LinkedIn. And I know you love LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you're expert at LinkedIn. They, you know how to use it. It's more frustrating for people like me who that's not my go-to social media. Getting, and this goes for any social media especially the larger ones, any social media platform, I am imploring you to fix your customer service issues. I know you don't think you have a customer service issue, but you do, and I'm begging you to fix it. And what I mean is quit putting up tech walls, quit putting out woefully inadequate AI customer service bots that actually don't understand the problem and cannot help, and go back, at least for the time being, go back to community moderators and people who can actually have a heart to help your customer. And if you don't do that, at least you should know you are not too big to fail. Bigger companies than you have gone the way of the dodo. You are not too big to fail.
Are you done?
Fix your damn customer service, okay?
First of all, do you know who owns LinkedIn?
Who?
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Right. So they bought them. I'm not
Yeah.
saying the shit went downhill once they did it, but listen, Microsoft's track record is ship the product,
Yes.
the bugs.
And if Microsoft needs to hear it from me, they are not too big to fail.
No, I hear you, right? And in the day of AI, Microsoft's been doing great, but no one is too big to fail, right?
Yeah. Well, and listen, if people migrate off of any platform, doesn't matter what it is, could be YouTube, could be Spotify, could be anything, okay? Their lifeblood is customers. And if those customers, for whatever reason, and these short-sighted tech companies think that they've got a lock on these people, and these people will always use their platform. Guess what? Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit if that's true. Ask Reddit what their burn rate is. Reddit became what's the word I want to use here? They became so oppressive with their political correctness that now they're scrambling like crazy to remain relevant. They kicked far too many people off their platform for being politically incorrect. And now they've got to try and get those people to come back, and they're so desperate to do it. But
Well,
it's
look,
gross.
it's just here. I'll show it quick for my LinkedIn profile. Right, so we could have this. And if you look through, right, and we can talk over this, right? But look at these brands: Netscape, Yahoo, AOL. We thought they would never fail.
Where are they?
Right?
Where are they now?
Who is this? Is this Google now? Is this Microsoft? Right? We can fast forward it a little bit. Where are they? Right?
All of these companies that you are watching switch places.
And these are websites, right?
This is still happening. This is still going on as we speak.
Look at Yahoo crushing everybody. Google, look at Google Go now, right? Who's the Google now?
Yep.
Right? This is 2003. We're here now, right? MSN going down. Google still creeping up, right? Where's MSN? I guess that's Microsoft.
And here's the thing that people don't understand, Dave. The reason that Yahoo just went dip down, the reason that MySpace went absolutely, not even used anymore.
Facebook's not even on. There goes Facebook. Boom.
And here comes Facebook. Is because
you saw how fast they went up to Facebook, right?
Yes, because in the beginning, when you are small, it is easy for you to monitor and to perform customer service.
Yeah.
It is easier for you to change directions and to concentrate on certain groups and to build an audience. It is harder to keep an audience than it is to build an audience.
Right. And look, and then as we proceed, and we will be making an announcement next week on when the e-commerce community is starting within Witty and Odyssey. We'll be talking, but then it's also digital currencies. You talk about bots, PayPal and Stripe will just take and freeze your money with no explanation. You can't
Yep.
talk to human.
And there's no
Thanks for coming to today's Zoom meeting. Let's break the ice by starting with a bad joke. A minister, a priest, and a rabbit walk into a bar. The bartender says to the rabbit, "What can I get you?" "I don't know, I'm just here because of autocorrect."
That is unacceptable, horrible.
You upset the baby.
That was as boring as your Zoom background.
People will think that I'm smart if I have books on a shelf behind me.
But I think one title is Green Eggs and Ham. Another one is Winnie the Pooh.
They were real nail biters.
If you subscribe to the Adobe Creative Suite, use Photoshop and Midjourney, you have all the tools to create great backgrounds. Like this one. I created the background in Midjourney, drew the birds in Illustrator, made them fly in Adobe Animate, and saved it as an MP4.
Companies can create a library of backgrounds for all their official Zoom interactions.
Does anyone want to hear another joke?
It is getting late.
You can buy great backgrounds now or join ZoomBack Pro and create your own. Go to zoomback.pro for more info.
Human.
and there's no human to talk to.
Right. I shared with you my friend Eric Ben-Samokin.
Yeah.
Ben-Samikon, I think he pronounces it. He's got a class action lawsuit against PayPal.
I've talked to you about Stripe. What Stripe did, they allowed a group of scammers to basically charge $400,000, $1 at a time, to MelodyClouds. And I woke up, and they did it overnight. I woke up one night to find $487,000 in my Stripe account, or charged against my Stripe account. And they shut down my Stripe account for 8 days. Now, look, business owners, tell me how happy you would be at not having access to your funds, other funds coming in, by the way. But how would that affect your business if you are not able to access your bank, your funds, for 8 days, 10 days, 30 days? It's ridiculous. There's absolutely no reason for that. Zero reason for that. And I'll tell you another story too. When I first started in e-commerce, people used to make fun of me because I used GoDaddy a lot. I used GoDaddy for everything. Back when Bob owned it. And people make fun of me. They're like, "Man, they're so overpriced. You're Wayne, oh my God, why are you using they nickel and dime you? They're always trying to charge you." And I said, "I'll tell you why, because their customer service is not to be messed with." They had customer service. I could call them at any time of day or night, and I would get a live human being on the phone. And yes, that human being may try to sell me, and I can say no. I'm a grown man. I can say no to it. But
Yeah.
They would always have an answer. Always, Dave, always had an answer to my question. And if I was having trouble following their directions for whatever reason, they would do it with me sitting on the phone in front of my face. They would do it for me. And they wouldn't even try and charge me anything for it. "No, Wayne, look, man, we love you, and we're going to do this for you." And that's how I got started in e-commerce, with partners like that. Now, not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. GoDaddy, you better shape up. You better shape up, because that day for you has long passed, evidently. And you're not looking to get yourself back to where it needs to be. And that's a damn shame, because it was glorious to be able to. Stripe was the same way. I could get somebody on the phone at Stripe in no time at all. But now they have made it very clear they're not about that. We're going to build a tech wall. There's no Google Stripe's customer service phone number. Try to find it. and call that number and try to get somebody on the horn. We'll call you in 2 days. We'll call you back. Give us your number. We'll call you back. That's not customer service.
No, that may be lack of customer service.
Oh,
Soon there may be no soon there may be no customers to serve if these companies keep it up.
right. And here's the problem. Here's the problem. It as far as number 3 goes, right, enhances your reputation. Well, guess what? Listen to the way I'm talking about GoDaddy. Listen to the way I'm talking about these companies. They've done the opposite. They've not enhanced their reputation. They've made their reputation worse. Horrible. I'm advising people, do not use these services. Find other services to use, because this is how their customer service goes.
Crazy. Now we're down to 2, and I think, establishes credibility. No doubt. I think getting the right partners, getting the Powered by Witty logo on your company, or getting blessed by the American Psychological Society, or whatever these acronyms are.
Yep.
Those are good. I think PR firms do a great job in helping you with that. They'll also they have the relationships, right? Like we talked about earlier during I think number 9. No, excuse me, number 8, where they had the long-term relationships with the competitors. Those are others that's just a big one for establishing credibility, and then it really just comes down to number 1, right? That's going to drive your e-commerce sales, drive your business, drive whatever you're trying to do, is just that brand awareness.
Well, establishing credibility. Look, what we have seen over the last 10 years has really woke a lot of people up. It really has awakened people to seeing things that, whether they see it or whether they think they see it. Okay. You can look at it in our own media. They've destroyed their credibility. They've destroyed whether you're talking about Fox or whether you're talking about CNN or whether you're talking about MSNBC, credibility destroyed. Your lack of intellectual curiosity. When the former president of the United States stands up on a stage and says that a group of people are eating pets, and we're going to correct it at the time, and then a flood of video of people actually doing this shows up, but none of the networks immediately race to the area and say, is this really going on? They'll send someone to Iraq or Afghanistan to embed with the army. They won't send somebody to Canton, Ohio or Springfield, Ohio, and find out, is this really happening, and answer the question for us. The same thing happens with Microsoft. Or better example, Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, right? He sits in front of Congress and he tells the world and sends a letter. You can read the letter. Look up the letter online. I'm so sorry for how we handled the last election. I will not be donating funds this election. $440 million he donated last election. I will not be doing that again because I think it unfairly weighted who he got. And his credibility, because of the Twitter files and because of the collusion with the government, is flushed. It'll be years before you can overcome that. This idea that there wasn't a laptop, the president's son didn't own a laptop someplace. They went for months denying that it happened, when in reality, all they would have had to do is say, yeah, here it is, and do what you got to do with them.
One of the listeners just pinged me to mute you.
What did you say? You want to mute me? I know you want to mute me.
Not me. One of the listeners pinged me. All right, listen. Enough with that.
Which? Hold on. Speaking of which, I want to make an announcement right now, right here and right now. We are set up next Friday 4 o'clock in the afternoon, next Friday.
That Ian's not going to be able to be there. I don't
Guess
think.
what? He'll either be here or be square. You and I are doing this live. We are going to go live, Dave. We are going to record our next episode of Straight Talk Commerce. It will be live on YouTube, Pacific Standard Time, 4 o'clock Friday in the afternoon.
3 o'clock, I thought.
Now you got me questioning. I'm gonna have to go back
Oh,
and
3 o'clock. It's 4:15 right now. 3 a.m. 3 p.m.
I think I set it for 4 p.m. So we will record from 4 to 5.
We'll make an announcement. Look.
No, when I edit this,
hold on. Wednesday, go to the web. They're going to be watching the premiere now, right, on our YouTube channel.
yeah, when I edit this,
Right.
listen to
What
me.
I'm
When I
saying-
edit this episode, the correct time is going to be right
I'm
here.
just saying, put an announcement. Make
Yeah.
all the announcements. The people, the
100%.
giveaways, right? Everything.
Next week we are going to go live, and the only reason I don't check it right now is because we're currently
If your
recording.
business operations feel like a grind, you're missing out on the magic of artificial intelligence. Whether you're in retail, manufacturing, finance, or any other industry, AI is a game changer. From automating mundane tasks to optimizing your supply chain, AI can transform how you operate. We specialize in creating tailored AI solutions that meet your unique challenges and goals. With our expertise, you can improve efficiency, reduce errors, and make better decisions. Discover how AI can revolutionize your business. Contact us today at www.toolessentials.ai/consultation.
We're currently recording this, and we need to finish up.
Totally. And then, finally, number one, builds brand awareness, right? And just brand equity. Getting in front of potential customers, being right in the right news feeds. Endless.
Well, look, we started with the one that, or we ended with the one that's the most obvious. Everybody uses social media and public relations to gain more customers, or what are you doing? Of course, this is the most obvious one. That's why we ended with this one. We didn't forget it. I could hear people in the background screaming at me, hey, you guys forgot the most obvious one. It's obvious. You want to build your brand awareness, but you want to do that without stepping on all of the landmines that we talked about in some of the other ones, without alienating half of your audience. You want to enhance your reputation while you're building brand awareness. We've talked about Wendy's. We talked about Wendy's. And our clip of that conversation, me telling you guys about Wendy's X account or Twitter account, I have found out that it is a team of people at Wendy's led by a guy, Matt Keck, or Mike or Matt. Anyway, guy's an absolute genius. I'm not sure if he's still there. I would love to meet this guy. Absolutely beast when it comes to running a Twitter account and riding that rail, that fine line between setting fire to the whole thing or getting a lot of attention. You talk about building brand awareness. Wendy's was big before him, but man, he really enhanced Wendy's reputation as being this edgy place to get a hamburger, and it's a lot of fun to read it. So kudos to him. I absolutely love what he's doing, or what he did. I think he's still doing it.
Yeah. I think that's it for today. Good one. PR firms, look, the future, right? Talk about things being able to be automated by PR. I think certainly those OGs that have the relationships and look, I think what this tells us with this, Wayne, is that it is all about the relationships, right? That's why we have Odyssey. That's why we have Witty.
Yep.
So build those trusted relationships. Use AI to enhance what you're doing and expand, but it's really just about, yeah, the relationships.
Well, somebody asked me not long ago, how do you build trust with your audience? And I said, be trustworthy. Be trustworthy. Think about who your audience is. Think about who you say you are trying to help. If you are a clothing brand, ladies or gentlemen, and you want to sell to a specific audience, then you need to let them know how much you would love their business and what special things you do for them. And you be honest and you be trustworthy that if there's a problem, you're going to take that in and solve their problem. That skirt that they bought that was the wrong size or the wrong color, well, you'll do an exchange. Or if it was damaged in transit, that you're going to do something to fix that for them. And that you're not going to say something just because you want to, just because you think it's the right thing to say. You want to alienate half of your audience. That is we're talking about business here. We're not talking about your personal. Now, look, if you want your personal brand to reflect your political beliefs, Ben and Jerry, great. That's fantastic. But two things need to be true. Number one, if you want the other side of the aisle, you better make some damn good ice cream for them to ignore that. Or you just sit back and you be content with giving to the causes that mean something to you. And that you be content with talking to the people in your narrow circle and don't alienate, half of your audience. That just, there's no reason to ever do that.
Number 18 is in the can before we go off more rails. Wayne, thank you. Good one. Ian, the ghost.
Where are you?
Our colleague, exactly. He's here in spirit. We'll see you next week live.
It's gonna be live.